for the meeting.
Motion made to adopt agenda.
Second.
The second.
Second.
Taylor seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Taylor, put that microphone.
Any opposed? Thank you. Mayor's report. The mayor is out of the country, and I am also out of town, so we're doing something different. Doing something different for our meeting, which is by phone. Bart, is that better?
Yes, that's better.
That's not better because he just left. That's much worse. Let me run this.
Who all do we have there? Who all's present?
Rick, Jason just got cut off.
Okay.
He's probably carrying out the agenda on his own.
Sounds good.
Hello.
Hello,
Can you
Jason.
stay with us this time?
All right, so let's try that again. Like I said, we're doing something different. Mayor's out of the country, and I am out of town with my family, so I had to call in, and that's how we're doing this meeting today. So we'll move on. Authorize the approval of the minutes of the recess meeting on February 24th, 2022, and the regular meeting on March 1st, 2022, and a special meeting on March 8th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, number 5 is authorize the approval of accounts for all city departments.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, consider the consent agenda.
I move.
Motion made to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Consider a resolution of the mayor and the board of aldermen of the city of Oxford authorizing and directing the issuance of not to exceed $8,200,000 of city of Oxford taxable, convertible to tax exempt general obligation refund bond series 2022 for the purpose refunding and defending of the purpose of the city of outstanding $9,950,000 of the city of Oxford general obligation bonds, series 2018B, dated August 30th, 2018, prescribing the form and details of said refunding bonds, directing the submission, execution, and delivery of said refunding bonds, providing certain covenants of said city in connection with said refunding bonds, authorizing negotiation, sale, and private placement of said refunding bonds, approving the form of and authorizing execute and deliver of the private placement agreement and an escrow agreement in connection with said refund bonds for the relative purpose. Sue.
Thank you. So we're asking approval today for the issuance of general obligation refunding bonds of the city in the amount not to exceed $8,200,000 for the purpose of refunding the 2018 parking garage bonds. And this is just a portion of those bonds. It'll be the bonds that mature in 2026 through 2038, which is the final maturity of the bonds. These bonds will be purchased or placed with the First Bank, which is a Hattiesburg bank, and the net interest rate on these bonds will be 1.84%. So that's a great rate. The savings will be approximately $470,000 or 5.6%. Net present value savings. The maturity will not be extended. Raymond James is the placement agent on this, and we're asking for approval of this and for approval of the documents.
Okay. So I have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Consider the reimbursement of medical expense to Jason Wilkerson. Kelly, and just to kind of tell you, I talked with Kelly today about this and feel like it's something that we should reimburse. Kelly explained to me that if the gentleman tried to get in touch with him but could not over a weekend, and if he would have gotten in touch with them, the reimbursement would have been approved. Kelly?
Yes, it's $711.50. It was a dog that he had of ours that was on foster. And whether he would have gotten in touch with us beforehand, we would have done most of the same things that he did. It was just an unapproved visit for a foster.
So moved.
All right, any questions? All right, motion on the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Request permission to approve and authorize the mayor to sign the contract for advertising services for the Oxford Conference Center. Michael?
You're supposed to already be here, Mike.
Okay, I am requesting the mayor's signature for our digital marketing contract with Advance Travel and Tourism.
And this is the same as your previous contract?
Yes, we used them last year too.
All right, any questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. First reading proposed ordinance amending Chapter 14, Article 2, Section 14-48 of the alcohol ordinance. Kenny's not here, so I think Chief is going to take this one for us.
Yes, sir. So this is just an exception to our already listed ordinance that would allow for any city functions to have a fenced-in area where light beer or wine would be able to be purchased, and also have in basically an open container. And it would follow the ABC guidelines of having to have a fixed structure and having ingress and egress to be able to be maintained, and security set up for those.
This was that thing that she was telling us about somewhere, executive.
At the work session the other day.
Yeah, work session, yeah. Sounds good to me.
Yep, so this is the first reading. We'll hear the second reading at the next meeting. Thanks, Chief. All right, request permission for OPC Activity Fund to reimburse the Oxford Police Department for additional patrols at the Activity Center from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. each weekday through the end of the school year.
Yes, sir. We're having some issues with all the kids that are coming over. We're having more than we normally do, so the board asked me to explore the possibility of getting SRO officers over at the school. I talked with Jeff and Zach Anderson, and they can provide that service, and the OPC Activities Fund has approved being able to pay for those officers through the end of the school year.
Are we having violence?
We're having fights every other day. I've suspended more people in the last 2 months than I've probably suspended in the last 3 years.
Inside or outside?
Inside.
Does it sound like you just got too many people in there?
They're coming straight out of school. I mean, it's coming out there, and too many people. No, we're not booked, but we're understaffed as it is, and we're trying to keep everything, and they can always find a corner to get into. We had an issue last week. Was it last week, Jeff? I had to call and get the police over there. It was bad enough for that.
I hate that the police.
Sounds like we need it. All right, do we have a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. First reading the proposed ordinance amending Chapter 22, Buildings, Article 2, to add Section 22 through 25 appeals. Hollis?
Yes, this would create a board of adjustment. It would allow someone that disagrees with an interpretation that the building official has made it would be established, the chairman of the planning commission would appoint a four-member board. He or she would be a non-voting member. There would be 2 additional planning commissioners and 1 at-large subject matter expert appointed to hear the issue, and then they would make a determination. The question that, and Paul may have to weigh in here, that we've had some discussion about, do we want the appeal process at that point, would this be the final, other than going to court, or do we want this to be appealed to the mayor and board?
I think what we discussed and talked about was doing it where it goes to the court like it used to.
Yeah, so before we overhauled the land development code back a couple of years ago, y'all, the planning commission sat as a board of adjustment when it heard variances and special exceptions, and so y'all did not hear appeals of those. And so it's sort of the same thought here, is that because what we're talking about is sort of a technical evaluation of, or appeal of a building official decision, is that the planning commission would sit and have that additional member appointed as kind of a technical advisor, and you would have the option of it not coming to y'all for an appeal. So it's not like a political decision, right? Like, you could have it that way, it could come to y'all, but the way it's written up, or the way we've had it done in the past, would be that they would have the final say.
Yeah.
That if somebody appealed the decision of the building official, that it would be the final decision of the city, and somebody who was not happy with that would go straight to court if they needed to appeal it. Okay?
Yeah, I'd rather go to court. My only question about this would be, how fast will this appeals board work? I mean, I know we don't know yet, but Barton's nodding his head because he knows what I'm going to say. I mean, most of the time, our building officials, it's not their fault. They're busy. It's like people are waiting on the building official to get there. They give them the decision, and then if they don't like it, I mean, how long they got to wait before?
The ordinance reads 14 days.
14 days.
We talked through that extensively for that very reason, and we started to establish it. We started to propose it being the 3rd Monday or 3rd, but we said, well, that would make them delay a whole month potentially, so we came with 14 days.
And hopefully, or shorter, if they can get together and look at it. I mean, it's just, I don't think they're going to have that many things, do you think?
I wouldn't expect more than a couple, 3 a year, if that many. We haven't had.
Well, then they could do it.
John, we have not had this come up. It's really not been an issue except for 1 or 2 folks who have had an issue with building official interpretation. So if it's something that needs to happen really quickly, I mean, we anticipate that we could get folks together and make that decision pretty quickly.
Thanks, Paul.
And I don't think the requirement is that it has to wait 14 days.
No, it's not. They have to appeal the decision within 14 days. And at that point, the chairman, if he wants to call the Board of Adjustment together, he could.
I just don't.
All right.
So what you're saying is you clarified that it has to be filed within 14 days, but it doesn't say how fast we have to do it.
Correct.
Well, I think maybe y'all could do something on here before our second reading, because I just don't think we need to, make builders have to, there's nothing that tells them that when they're gonna hear their appeal.
Yeah.
You could put in there that upon appeal, a decision or the Board of Adjustment will be called no more than 14 days after an appeal is filed.
And we're now with that, that's great.
Yeah, we don't have that, but you're right.
Okay, good deal.
So that gives them 30 days approximately for the appeal to be filed and heard.
If they waited their whole 14 days.
Right, if they waited their whole 14 days.
Depending on the timing of the appeal, we would hope to do these on the 30 minutes before the Planning Commission gavels in. But it, you know, if the planning commission had their meeting yesterday and it happened the next day, we wouldn't want to wait to the following month. We'd have to call a special meeting.
Shouldn't be difficult to call 4 people into service just to hear an appeal 3 times.
If you see in there, the noticing requirement is that it's just 1 day prior, 1 day.
Sure, right.
So you could call it very quickly.
Yeah, okay.
Good first reading.
So we got to make those changes, and then, I mean, we could even do it by telephonic, the appeal process by telephonic.
Yeah, and we'll take a look at that. We'll make sure that there's something in there that assures that people have their day as quickly as they can.
All right. So that's the first reading. We'll move on to 13, which is request approval for the professional service contract with Miramac US Inc. in the amount of $4,950. Ben.
Yeah, this is a professional service contract in the amount of $4,950, and this will provide us with updated imagery, aerial imagery of the city limits of Oxford. Will help us with, being able to see the progress of current developments, roads, and other projects.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, consider modification of the resolution to provide city water and sewer outside the city of Oxford corporate limits. Ben?
So a couple weeks ago, or a few weeks ago, we made a modification to this, and now we're back before you with a slight modification. The only thing that changed is, I'm gonna read it, it's highlighted in red, and it says developments located in the Lafayette County Max D HIP Industrial Park or beyond 1 mile of the city of Oxford corporate limits are subject to all applicable standards of development in the Lafayette County zoning ordinance, but the utility plans are subject to city of Oxford review and approval. And then anything that's within 1 mile of our city limits will be subject to our requirements, as has been the case.
And this is going with what the county had talked about, so.
Correct.
There are no issues there. All right, do I have a motion considered?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Any opposed? All right, third reading and vote on proposed ordinance amendment, Chapter 18 of the Animal and Fowl, Section 10, Animal Resource Officers, Article 1A and 1B, as related to the duties and the roles of the Animal Control Officer. Chief?
Yes, sir. We've made no modifications since our original reading, and we're ready for a vote.
Move we approve.
Okay.
I'll second.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Request permission for the mayor and police chief to sign an agreement with Mississippi Bureau of Narcotics for the use of OPD K-9 unit. Chief?
Yes, sir. The Bureau of Narcotics does not have any active canines on their team, and so they work the entire northern district. This would just allow us the ability, if they call, if they need assistance, we'd be able to dispatch with them. If we have the resources, there's no obligations. There's no financial anything that we need. This is just being able to respond if they ask.
Okay.
So moved.
So I have a second?
Second.
We have.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Request permission to accept the dedication of the right-of-way within the Bell River development. Brianna?
Yes, sir. The Bell River Development did not have a plat, so they are dedicating the right-of-way by warranty deed. Council has reviewed the deed and exhibits provided and concurs, and so we would ask that you accept the warranty deed for dedication of this right-of-way in Bell River Development.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Request permission to advertise bids for Brittany Wood Water Project.
Yes, this is our project to extend the water line down to Brittany Woods and within the development. It's been budgeted in this fiscal year, and we are ready to advertise.
All right, so move.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Request permission to advertise bids for South Lamar Box Culvert Project.
Yes, this is our project where we received MEMA funds, and we are ready to advertise for this project, which would begin this summer. It does have a required matching grant, and it has been budgeted for.
I move we do. I do have a question though. Will we, I see the $500,000 that we got plus the 25% that we'll have to pay the whatever, 125,000. Will we get it done for 625,000?
That is our budget. The bids, we'll have to see. They've been a little wild in the last couple of years. We did come in on budget with our cemetery project, and so we are looking at the materials, and I hope so. If not, then...
Seems like I remember you bragging about that last one.
I know, and I'm scared to say it too much because I need that.
Okay, I move that we approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, any opposed? Thank you. Consider the purchase of RTK GPS units. Brianna.
Yes, we would like to reallocate approximately $6,000 in the street department budget to purchase this GPS unit. It allows us to perform small field surveys. We were able to go out and do a survey on Johnson for a sidewalk and on Gator Road for widening project out there, and so it saves the city. We've already, with the trial of the product, saved the city funds for surveying, and we'd just like to have this to allow us to do small surveys for small projects that we develop and plans for in-house.
So move.
And the money's coming from a purchase we can't make, correct?
Second.
Yes, sir.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Aye. Consider executive session.
Move we consider executive session. Lightly consider executive session.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.